Good afternoon from Eudoxia Research University, Newcastle, and also Eudoxia Research Center, India. Today, we have really important topic to be discussed here, and my presentation covered the research manuscript drafting and peer-reviewed publication process. I know that the drafting of original manuscript is always tedious in nature, and therefore our researchers are always facing the problem for drafting of research paper or manuscript. Now the fact is that how you can draft your paper, how you can have the more and more quality publication in the peer-reviewed journal, that is Scopus journal purely. We have to publish our work in a Scopus journal, and we need to understand the process of publication and the steps for our research paper. Before sharing the outline, I would like to start with the one of the quotation by Albert Einstein. He said, "I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious." I'm pretty much sure that some of you are really passionate and having the curiosity about the research. It's not for your only academic existence, but also for contribution to the world. And therefore, at the very beginning, I would like to share here that we need to understand why we are doing research is not for only our PhD degree or postdoc or the DSc DLit. We are doing our research to change the world. So in today's presentation, I will cover that steps for original manuscript drafting. What are the steps that you can adopt and you can have one wonderful manuscript in your hand? Review of literature, I will give some focus on that part also. And the free publication process, that what are the precautions you have to take, what are the steps can be adopted from your side for free publication process. So let's go here. Now I think that one slide is appearing in front of you. And in the slide, you can see that three sections I'm sharing. Original manuscript drafting. That is, first part is pre-drafting work. And here I am sharing one laptop and one globe is rotating. You can see here. The globe is rotating. That means we need to understand that the world of internet in your hand. And you can utilize this opportunity for drafting of your paper. If you wanted to make it incredible, awesome, then your paper will appear each and everywhere, and you will have the good H indexing, good impact journal in your hand. Now the question, what is pre-writing process? Before writing, we have to do something. Yeah. And if you wanted to have your publication, particularly in Scopus free journal, say Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4, you have to adopt some steps. Now you see, you will meet some people, those who are having 80, 90, maybe 110 number of publications. Whether it is necessary to have the 100 plus publication? The answer is no. At the very beginning, I have shared that Albert Einstein quotation. He published 5 papers. You need to understand. You see Hawking, you see the great people, you see the brilliant people. They are always focusing on the quality and never listening to the society. My opinion is here that please adopt these steps. So first, we need to understand that the purpose of academic writing, that is goal and readers. Goal, that is why you are preparing this paper and who will be your reader. If you are having no reader, then your paper will be not accepted for a good journal. This is really challenging in nature to have the number of audience for your paper so that you can have one good index of your paper. Now you see the content of the journal, aim and content of the journal. This is also very important. That is, whenever you are doing the pre-writing process, that is before writing down of your paper, make sure from your side that you have gone through a number of journals, numbers of papers, and you have studied, you have write down the bullet points. You have write down the bullet points. Now you are not framing exact title, neither you are writing down the abstract, but you are ready to do the hard work for your paper, because you will never compromise with the quality of your research paper. So in this case, it is necessary to understand the scope of the journal. That you may have the 5 or 10 journals. You have to go through that one. Make sure that your content will meet the standard of the journal. Then only you can have the paper publication in the free Scopus or Web of Science, WOS, or IEEE journals. Now the next, that recommended style of writing. Now you see that whether you will use the MS Word or not, whether you want to format it in different format. This all will depend upon that what are the journals. Don't go with only one journal. At first, you should have one picture that this is my journal, this is my domain, and these are the journal, and now I am start writing my paper. That is, I am starting my work on my paper. I'm particularly today explaining about the original research paper writing, not the review paper. There is 1-2 differences in our strategy while we are preparing our manuscript. Thereafter, you see that copyright issues of the paper, you say that one, appropriate length. This is very important, appropriate length. It is always coming under the pre-drafting work. Pre-drafting, that is, you need to understand what will be length. Today, I am presenting my work in front of you. I have only 10 slides along with my title slide. You need to understand, no people will have interest for reading maybe the 50 or 60 pages of your paper, even not the reviewer. I am also being reviewer in a number of journals in US, in Germany, in India, and in other Greece, Malaysia, and different countries. Whenever we are having the paper in our hand, and as per journal guideline, it was submitted. That is, the review process is comprising of the different level. That is editorial first, then they will see that yes, it is meeting the scope of the journal, then they will forward it, okay, to us, the reviewers. We will have one particular format by the journal, standard format, and we have to make a review and write down our comment. Now you see that in this process, we will look into the title, abstract, and the body part. And if the title of the paper is not interesting, abstract is not interesting, and grammatical mistake, more and more grammatical mistakes, it is not up to the mark of the topic, then never, ever, anyone will accept the paper. Of course, the paper will become the nightmare for you. So be careful in this case, because you can make number of changes. It is pre-writing process. Now you see that the length of the paper, if you ask me that regarding the original research paper, in A4, if it is the type, say you were using your laptop, in A4, you were writing with the Times New Roman and maybe the 12 size and having the spacing, say 1.5, then it may be the 12 pages to maximum of, I think, 14 pages, not more than it, including the references, because no journal want to span their pages without benefit. And what is the benefit of the journal? To capture more and more reader. We have to understand that. Then requirements, that is the heading, figures, references, guideline, everything you need to check at first, and particularly software. That is if you are doing the qualitative analysis. For example, qualitative analysis, if you ask me before 15 years, then 15 years before, no one was using NVivo, but now we are using it. So you need to understand that research is not one that which is steady in nature. It is one streamlined process and which is dynamic in nature. With the time, we need to change our mind. With the time, we need to understand the need of the society. With the time, we need to understand the demand of the genre. Otherwise, we'll be the person inside our own pond. We will never have the development regarding our publication, regarding our innovation. Then you see that I'm sharing the second column. If you see that one person is working with the laptop and try to find out. And try to find out, yes, of course, the research gap and the research question. It is typing now continuously. And of course, that divide your work. First, now, selection of topic. How you will select the topic? That is, you need to work continuously. As I'm showing that animated that one, someone is working, you need to do the hard work. There is no shortcut. If you have no patience, you are not passionate. Of course, you are out of track. No one can change your mind. No one can make the miracles in your life. If you are ready to face the journey, and this journey, I am pretty much sure you are also understanding, not only for the free publication, but also establishing yourself as the best academician and the researcher of the world, and nothing is impossible. Now you see that selection of topic. So first, divide your work. Divide that you have one plan in your mind, and divide your work into some paragraphs, into some sections, and start the time-bound plan. You have seen that some people are taking that longer time than usual. Don't be also hurry for publication. Then you may lost the right track and you may be captured by the predatory journals, sometimes clone journals. You need to understand, you have publication, number of publication, but in the paid journal, but in the clone journal, or you are having your publication in the predatory journal. What will you do? That is very clear. That is everyone. Say that you are appearing in university interview, and I'm sharing here that in our interview, whenever we are also taking interview, you cannot imagine how many numbers of the biodata CV are there. We need also the best people. Everyone needs the best people. They wanted to go with the best people because they will provide the best salary in the industry. So for that purpose, whenever if someone is preparing for university position, I'm pretty much sure that they will capture the quality in their work. So now divide your work into some section, make the time bound planning. That is, I will collect if data collection is there. For example, within 1 month, I will start writing with this one. I will give 3 months for writing process. Go with time-bound process. It is generally required 6 months or more than 8, depending upon the frequency of the journal. Now you see that list of all sources relevant to your research design. And also be careful with the I index, H index, okay, impact factor of the journal. Don't go with the wrong journal. I'm requesting again and again. Short summary, that is 150 to 250 word, you can prepare before preparation of your abstract. Okay, before preparation of abstract, you can prepare one short summary. It has nothing to do with your real abstract, but it is the base of your work. Now you are moving forward to closer. You see that we have to open our eyes. If you can observe this photograph, it's the moving photographs. The waters are falling. Waters are coming out from the eye. All birds are going outside. How many of you have observed this, that it is a moving one? It is a dynamic. It's not the steady one. Not the steady one. You can see, if you observe it from the eyes, the waters are flowing out. Life is dynamic. Research is always dynamic. And it is always tempting in nature. And it will create the passion inside you and bring the burning desire that you will do the best work. So let's go with the flow chart. Let us open our eye and to understand the format of the original research paper, especially Scopus category. So now you see that we have to go with our title and our affiliation. That is always we have to go for any paper. Then you see that abstract, introduction, method, methodology, results, discussion, conclusion, references, and appendices. You see here, I am showing you one standard format, not the hard and fast rule. That is also I am sharing. You have to read the author information from the journal, because slight changes may be there. Now let us move forward that one by one, that we need to understand that how we can have this one. Now you will have the title and abstract, and I'm sharing you again one dynamic picture. You can see that the whole universe is moving, and it's like that only whenever you are working with your title of the paper and the abstract, the everything that you can see what human and all our planets are moving, surrounding. You can see everything. The reviewer, the journal can see everything from the title of the paper and the abstract. So how to construct the effective title, which will capture the eyeballs, which will capture the mind of the reviewer, which will give the impact to your research, which search engine optimization process. So first I'm explaining the title and affiliation. You're going to have this one. You see that there are 3 steps that I'm sharing. Literally each and everyone writing down their paper, publish their paper. I know you are having the experience. But here, what I'm sharing, this is the need of the top quartile paper. If you wanted to publish your paper in a Q1, Q2, Q3 journal, of course you need to understand. You see that selection of every word and length of the title are very important. I have mentioned here. And receive acceptance as it is directly connected to impact, SEO, and indexing purpose. Now we need to understand here our Eudoxia Research University, Newcastle, USA. Our team is also working for one journal, one best journal we want to bring. It will be free of cost for all the research. We will not take any single money for publication purpose, and it will be indexed with USA ISSN. That is, it will be published from United States. Our team is working. Now, you see that as the journal will not take a single rupee from you for your publication, but the people, those who are working in the journal, need to carry their life, their lifestyles. Then how it will work? You need to understand everything. That is how the top journals are working, because all the top journals are focusing on the part that the indexing and their impact. So your research paper should be one of the best paper which will carry the impact factor, that is for the journal, and which will have the more H indexing, that is more citation. More citation, H index, you know, the Harris index, and we have one formula for calculation. That is, you need to understand that more and more people will give your paper name in the citation part, in the reference part, and then your paper will get the more attention. Now the length of the title should be 12 to 18 words only. Yes, it is the standard number. Please follow this one. You will get the good result. Really good result. I am sharing with you. That's your title. Don't keep it in an 25, 30 like that. It's not required. Go with 12 to 18 words maximum. Number 3, title of the paper can be framed by each word first letter capitalized. Yeah, that is one style, except the prepositions. That you need to understand that if and, of, these are appearing, that you need not to make it capitalized. Otherwise, you can do that the word first letter with the capital, then say and small, and the abstract say here it is capital. So it is one of the style that most of the that's author are adopting for writing down of their title for better appearance. Now you see that abstract and the keywords. Of course, you need to go with the best abstract from your research to capture the mind of the reviewer. Now you see that firstly, it grabs the reader attention. You need to understand, because whatever you will write down in the abstract, all the reader will read that one only first before processing of your paper, or any reviewer before reading the paper, they will closely go through your abstract because it is shorter, and they can read it very easily. So maximum word that you can use 150 for science people like that, maximum 200, and if you are from social science, humanities, then you can go for up to 250 to 300. 300 generally not taken. Try to manage it within the 250 words. That is, every word should have the good impact. That is necessary. You see that secondly, it contains your research problem statement. That is, most of the time people are not understanding how to write down the abstract. And they are thinking like that, the abstract, introduction and conclusion are all same. And therefore they are making the mistake. And after that, they will submit their paper to one of the top journals. And the journal will reject the paper. So we need to rectify ourselves also. That is, if something drawback in our work, then we have to rectify it. So what is the necessary part? Here we have to adopt, we need to understand. That is research problem statement. You need to find out the research gap. You should write down your research question and identify the research problem and project your research problem properly in the abstract first paragraph. It should be started with wonderful, that flowery word and the background. You see that you have to go with the problem statement in your abstract. Then thirdly, the possible and expected outcome of research. Yeah, this is also required because each and everyone wanted to know that why you are doing this research. So in the abstract section, if you can explain it, if you can show it, okay, these are the expected outcome. Maybe this is my outcome. I'm expecting that it will happen. Then the reader will go through this one. Okay, that we can found it at that conclusion. Okay, now let us move forward and to understand the introduction section. So introduction section can be divided into the 3 paragraphs. Okay, 3 paragraphs. And these are the basic 3 stages of the introduction. Well, so first one, begin with, okay, that surprising fact. It is very important because you see that most of the people will go with that very traditional way. They will read some other paper and they will just copy or paraphrase that one, the first some sentences. Do not go for it. Write down some of the interesting, surprising facts, some sentences while you were starting writing. Then the background of the research should be mentioned. That why you are doing this research. What is the background of this theory or methodology, etc. That is, at the very beginning, you need to capture the mind of the people here. And expected outcome. Of course, in the paragraph, say first one, you will slightly speak about that why you are doing this research. In the number 2 paragraph, second paragraph of the introductory section, that is introduction part, that it is very important. Creating the reverse funnel. reverse funnel, that is this one. Okay, so explaining research gap, research question, research problem in short and qualitative manner. This is very important. That is, you are showing that this is a research gap. Means in this part, no one conducted their research. No one find out this part. But I am the one, I am the person who is carrying out this research, and this was unexplored. Research gap was there, it was not explored. Okay, so now you are showing that this is a research gap, and you have framed some research question, and you have clearly mentioned that this is problem, maybe the society problem. You are that doing your research. Say you are doing in education, you are doing in political science, you are doing experimental research, but you need to show or present your research problem in this stage. That is the paragraph 2 in the introduction section. Paragraph 3 will be more interesting because philosophy behind the original research. That is always bringing the uniqueness to your paper. Uniqueness, that is, if you are doing original research, then you need to understand the philosophy behind your work. Why and how it is different from other work. So you need to mention it in the third paragraph. And I think that you can do this one, and also make sure from your side that you are putting the references in your this section. Say paragraph 3. In paragraph 3, you are putting the references, and in every paragraph, say paragraph 1, 2, and 3, you are keeping the references which are synchronizing with your content. Do not put unnecessary references to show them only in front of the reviewer that I am going with the more and more references. It has never been required. And therefore, if you want to make it incredible, make sure from your side that you are putting the right references in the introduction section, because most of the researchers putting some more and more references that is actually not usually come under their research work. And whenever the reviewer will go through that research paper, they will find out, I'm pretty much sure here that they can recognize that this is not based on this paper. So be careful in this stage. Now let's move forward, and here it's very, very important. The universe is moving here in the left-hand side, you can see here. The method and methodology or the experimental design. Of course, this is the complete universe of your research paper. You have to bring everything. You can see that it is moving. It's like the bringing the universe into the one point. You need to understand that in your research paper, methodology, or the experimental design, it is very important part of your research. And you are bringing everything into one point. So method and methodology. Method, the system, why you are using this one is the methodology. Why you are selecting that method is the methodology of your work. So make sure from your side that you are putting the right justification. It is also very important in this here that right justification for methodology as well as the right method for your research design. Then research gap and research problem. I have already throwing some raised in this topic, because we need to understand that your topic, your research has enough strength to overcome the research gap. This is very important. Here you have to focus on this point. That is how you are first you are projecting your research gap. It is not only important point. It is also important that how you are overcoming that research gap in your research. You are showing the research gap. Most of the researchers are doing that one, that they are clearly mentioning the research gap, that we have observed that Mr. X et al, Y et al done this research, but they have not conducted this research in this. They have not adopted that methodology. They have not done this one. Okay, all right here, that you are finding out the research gap. You are showing the research problem, but whether your research has the enough strength to overcome the research gap. And here you need to explain it in the method and methodology in a very attractive manner. very attractive manner, try to explain it, then you're going to have the really wonderful publication. Now, in case of experimental research, say you are from researcher from science, technology, engineering, then also make sure from your side that you are showing the true sense, in a true sense, that these are the methods that I'm adopting, these are the synthesis process, these are the fabrication process, or I am using this kind of instruments in my work. So these are very, very important. Okay. Now, if we move forward, we have to understand the data analysis, collection and analysis part. So here I would like to move some first to, because you see that everyone having the different research design, that is someone having the mixed method, qualitative, quantitative. But the fact is that how to present your data in your research paper is very important. So correct method of data collection, that is always should be there. You have to mention that you are adopting this method for data collection. If you are showing that questionnaire, then definitely you need to understand that literally more and more researchers will show that I'm using the questionnaire. But why? Questionnaire will be the best method for the data collection. You need to mention here. Then correct research design. Here the research design will play the role. Like that earlier I have explained about that your research gap, research problem. Research design is complete blueprint of your research. And in data collection and analysis, we are always trying to explain and justify. This is very important, that justification. We are always trying to justify our research design. Thereafter, you see the table and graph should be properly presented. Make sure from your side that you are using the high quality that photographs and the images. If possible, convert it to the TIFF images or PNG images rather than JPG while you are uploading the image, because sometimes it is, you can observe in some of the journal, it is the web interface. That is, you have to upload the that's all the images. So in such case, if you are not able to convert the JPG to TIFF or PNG, then the pixel of your that's photograph or images will be lower down. And whenever they are printing it, it's not with the good quality. Some blurred image will be there. And if you are having difficulty in that part also, we are always ready to support you. That is web interface. Whenever you are using for submission of your paper, you can take the help from our side. Now you see that the number 4, the adopting the effective format, either Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. That is, you have to understand that what is the actually quartile for your paper. It's not like that I want to publish in Q1, the top journal. Whether my work is actually up to the Q1 or Q2 level, I have to check that one with some relevant paper published from that journal. Then finally, high quality images, clear graph. It is also very important. And combined, yeah, sometimes you can combine. You can see this slide. That is numbers of points are here in one slide. It's not required that one, I will show again 5 slides. In the one slide, I'm showing you everything. Like that, you need to understand. That is, whenever you're presenting your paper to the journal, okay, make sure that in the graph, in the photograph, you are having this combined system of presentation, which is very important. But each and every time, it should be clear in this. Clear, they have to be go with the clear image. Otherwise, they will not have interest to publish your work. Now you see that the result and discussion. Okay, in the part of result and discussion, I'm showing you the firewalls. Yeah, this is here. You have to make the fire everywhere. That is the fire in the mind of the people. That's, they will say, oh my God, this is a different paper, and they have done really incredible work here. This is outstanding. The reviewer should feel that one. You can see that's, I'm showing you the fireballs to inspire you. That is, in this part, we are always keeping the fire inside us, and we have to be passionate. Yes, I will put and organize the section with the logical flow. This is very important. Logical flow. This is not now come under the any systems or that's the formats. That is depend upon your research. You have to bring everything in a logical order. Here, our flowcharts will also not work. You see that in flowchart I have mentioned the result and discussion. But now, depending upon your research design, if you want to target the top journal, Q1, Q2, Q3, then you should have the logical flow in your mind that how I want to present the discussion part, especially discussion, because it always demands the justification. Then provide sufficient justification to explain the result. Make sure that your discussion is impressive. Of course, it is the need of this section. That is, whenever you are discussing each and everything, you have to understand that you may use some of the references here. You may refer to someone work that they're getting that one. You may have some of the justification in your work, and accordingly, you will present the paper. Thereafter, that in the third step, the significance of the research design should be reflected. Of course, here at the last paragraph, you need to mention that why your work is significant, why it is totally different from the other, and you are bringing something new, something different. That is, it's not required that thousands of points will be there in your research paper. One unique point, which is different from the other, which is innovative in nature, will give you the acceptance of your paper in the top journal. And now I would like to share here that the conclusion and the references. That is conclusion and references. Most of you, I think that writing down your paper, it's like that. You can see at the top corner, that is one that animated image that's giving the checklist. Yeah, that 1, 2, 3, 4. So don't repeat the abstract or introduction in this part. Moreover, more and more researchers are doing this mistake. They are thinking like that, my conclusion is same as my abstract. So they are copying from abstract and putting it in the conclusion because they have no patience now. Now I have to submit my paper. I have to submit my paper. And it is usually happening that whenever we are going through some new researcher paper, we can see that either from abstract or from introduction part, some sentences being copied and pasted in the conclusion because they are having the wrong idea that conclusion and abstract or introduction are same. They are really different. In abstract, you are saying that it is my goal, it is my idea, and I am expecting this outcome. In conclusion, you are sharing that these are my results. These are my results, and I have attained it or non-attained. Both are acceptable, that you have attained the result, why and how you are justified. You have not attained the result, that is, you are having the hypothesis, and your alternative hypothesis you cannot establish. You cannot accept your alternative hypothesis, that is, that you cannot nullify the null hypothesis, you cannot reject the null hypothesis. Why? That is also research. So we need to explain here. So in stage 2, explain the goal of the work and comparative outcome. That is, what was your goal and what you have received. That is also important, and you need to mention it in a very super stylish way in your conclusion part. Thereafter, stage 3, that how your work is unique. Read it again and again, edit it and make it unique in nature, because everyone needs the unique work in this stage. Stage 4 is the reference arrangement, and you can go with the journal format. Application of reference management software, maybe Zotero, maybe Mendeley. I think that you can use the Mendeley. This is wonderful software. You can use that one. And finally, in the stage 5, that the plagiarism checking and ethical paraphrasing. That is, if you are having unwanted plagiarism, that you can do the paraphrasing of your work, but it should be ethical in nature. You are never copying from other work and publishing it as your own. You are doing only that unwanted plagiarism come, and you are making the changes by using some software. And in the upcoming, that's our webinar, we will show. Now you see that the paper publication cycle. This is very important. You can see that one person is going in upward direction, that one by one step. It is the stepwise process. And most of the time, we are having no that patience. That's to go with that one. And we are hurriedly, we are submitting that one. So make sure from your side that you are having enough time and quality of your work for pre-paper publication. First, stage one, understand the research domain along with the possible quartile of your work. That is whether it will come under Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Understand the research domain. You are doing research in pharmacy, nursing, that is management, that is HR. What is your domain? You need to understand, and you have to target in your category journal. Again, now in the journal, you will have the different quartile, that is Q1, Q2, Q3. Now you need to say that your that content or your objective, your goal of the paper will match with whether Q3 or Q1. If your paper carrying more and more work in the Q3 category and you are submitting into Q1, then there will be no result. So you have to be careful in this space. Find out the ethical publication house. That is very important. Don't go with the predatory. Don't go with the clone journal. Must be avoided. There are numbers of journals which are really clone journal. These are predatory journal. Don't submit it. Please make the cross verification before submission of your paper. Read recently published stage 3. You see that read recently published Scopus free journal paper to identify the scope of the journal. So you have to understand the journal mentioned these are the scope. But before submission of your paper, read some papers from the journal and see whether they are publishing this kind of work or not. If they are not publishing that work related to your research, then you should go with the different journal. Another journal. There are numbers of journals. Then in stage 4, say the APC, article processing search. There should not be article processing search, and then only you can have the free publication. So please remember it that APC, you have to see that is in the author package. If they are mentioning that you need to pay the money, you need to make the payment, don't go with that one, go with only free journal. And also publication frequency, you say that you are having one plan that I need that paper within 6 months or 7 months, but you are selecting one journal which is publishing yearly, then it will take that more than 1 year, that is 1.5 years it is required. You are going with one journal which has every month their publication, then it may be the faster. Some journals are quarterly, some journals are bi-monthly. So depending upon the frequency of the publication, your paper may be accepted in faster way and can be published without any publication fee. Now you see that stage 5, that is author information, journal complete guideline you have to read. And most of the time we are avoiding it. We are thinking like that, yeah, we know that one, we have published our paper, now we have formatted and we need to submit. Here we are making the mistake. We are giving more time for our paper, but we have no time to read the guideline. And therefore, what is happening, it is not synchronizing with the journal guideline and being the cause of our rejection of our paper. So if it is rejected also, don't give up from your side. Don't be the person that who will say that, no, I cannot publish. No, you need to try it again and again. I'm showing you that animated that the version of the person that continuously forwarding the state. So be motivated, self-motivated from your side. You will have the best result in your hand. And go with time-bound work only. I have mentioned here time-bound work. And stage 6 is, of course, you have to take help from the university, maybe the research center, maybe your mentor, that for cross-verification, maybe the grammar, maybe the tense, maybe the vocabulary, they will take it and support it. Okay, so you can have the support from the university or the other mentor. Finally, I'm coming towards the end of my presentation. And here I am again sharing the one of the best quotation that I feel. It was given by Albert Einstein, the greatest intelligent person, I think that all over the world and all over the time. The aim of education must be the training of independently acting and thinking individuals you have to understand, independently, acting and thinking individuals who, however, see in the service of community their highest life problem. So please understand this quote made by the Albert Einstein. In our lifetime, we have to think beyond the traditional things, and we need to understand that we have to develop our thinking capacity. We need the people, those who will be the real thinker of the world, to change the world, to lead the world for more research and more innovation. We are adding also one sentence that contribute to the world of research and innovation by ethical works only. Think beyond traditional academics. Thanking you all for your support and learning. Eudoxia Research University is always ready to support the researcher and academicians. We are always thinking beyond traditional academics. We are more into research. We are more into innovation. We feel like that the great persons, those who are actually guiding us, those who were always sharing their viewpoints for the non-traditional work with the outcome will help our life in future. Thank you for everyone for being here and for your messages. More than 100 people until now you are listening. I'm really grateful to you all. Thank you. Thank you.